Yay, Erik, I'm so excited that you're joining us for this interview.
Yeah, this is kind of fresh. I wasn't expecting to be doing something like this. And yeah, I've just been in such a different mode lately with a lot of tech work for the ministry and things, but very little music. So this is feels very refreshing to me.
Hmm, good.
Thanks. Yeah, grateful for the invitation.
We're,
Yeah.
we're grateful to have you here.
Well, this is so exciting because you have so much music that you've written and that you've shared over the years, and um, yeah, and I'm just excited to go into it and just explore your the motivations and the the inspirations that have prompted you and what music has meant to you and your on your journey on your path.
So yeah, and even prior to the troubadour thing or the minstrel thing, I was really inspired by hypnotherapy, and I wanted to be like a Course in Miracles hypnotherapist. And
Mm,
then I started kind of connecting with David, and I quit my whole hypnotherapy career at that time. But then I didn't know what I was going to do, and I hadn't really thought of music as even an option. It just felt like a campfire hobby at the time. But he said, I think you're going to be like a traveling minstrel. And this was back in 2009.
all right.
And I just remember when he said that, like at first I had to look up on Google what the word minstrel even meant. But and then I read it and I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. It like has the first three letters are the same as minister, and
Oh,
um, and
right.
I could feel that there was this deep like simplicity about that, just being a traveling minstrel, like no agenda, no career, even just
Mm,
basically just being willing to go wherever, just kind of float around the country or something, and sing songs about love and forgiveness. And yeah, I
yeah.
couldn't think of anything more inspiring to me at that time. So
And that's exactly what you did, right? You did just end up traveling at that time. I guess you were with Armel.
yeah.
Yeah, and you just traveled and all over in Europe and the US or just Europe or
Yeah, initially it was Europe because Armel, I mean, I first was like, okay, I say yes, I'll be a traveling minstrel, but I didn't really have a plan, and nothing really was coming in clearly, like, okay, where do I go? And then it wasn't actually till 6 months later that Armel independently got this prompt to, you're going to marry Eric. You're going to get married with Eric, and you're going to go on a
right.
world tour.
That's a whole other
And
thing.
yeah, and then that was what kind of kicked it off, like the world tour idea, and then getting married, and then we
Yeah.
were like a duo, and she started having songs pouring through her as well. I had already started to hear new songs. I'll probably play one of them, that Just Relax song. That was the first one that came, but
Mm,
then there was all the collaboration with her and all the healing and relationship forgiveness work that started coming in. And yeah, we were touring in Europe for a bit in the beginning, and yeah, that was quite deep
wow.
and healing
Yeah.
and exciting.
I can only imagine. And I didn't know that. So the first song was Just Relax. That's the very first song.
Yeah, I think yeah, maybe that was the one I needed the most to help me calm
Wow.
down. To
How
like,
appropriate.
it was like
Yeah.
my whole life was getting like turned upside down from being a. I mean, I was already traveling. I was a traveling hypnotherapist, like I mentioned,
Right.
and so I was pretty used to traveling on my own. But I felt like I was very independent, and like I was like a bachelor, and I liked it that way. I had the thought I would never get married. So when
Right.
this guidance came in to get married with Armel, I was like kind of freaking out. But I already had Just Relax had come to me at the time, and I was playing that
Mm,
for people, and that song. I mean, so many people told me how helpful that's been for them too, because I know
mm,
for me, just listening to the lyrics of that song, I could just feel like it was like I needed that reminder, just relax, like
mm.
over and over, to let go of all the ego stuff that was coming up, all the
Yeah.
fears, and yeah.
with that message, I mean, the message itself, just relax. Like some things have been seeming to come in, around that, and in terms of like, are we relaxing our bodies? Are we relaxing your mind? And I think that I don't think that there's like a set way, and that the curriculum's highly individualized in a way. But I think that for me, it seems to be coming in like, you don't need to just relax your body. That's different. Like, just relax your mind. So I think I've like paired those things together in some way, and I think they're kind of, it's like separating out a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know, one other thing we were talking about as far as like inspired works, and I think we were curious. I was curious about how you define, I guess, what your define, how you define that, or how you describe that, I guess. Like, I know that with like the Course in Miracles, like Helen Schuckman, her name wasn't even on it, and she said, she was a scribe essentially, and I know other people sometimes speak about, channeled works. Helen also has the work, The Gifts of God, and that she describes as being an inspired author for, so I don't, are there differences there? Like, have you had like, and even like, if you have had works before it was inspired, like if you were a songwriter before that at all, if you had original material, and like that transition through there, like how is it for you?
Yeah. I had written songs before that. I was in a band in college, and I had written several songs for the band, and kind of more hard rock type music. And then when these songs came in, I mean, yeah, I could feel like they were coming from a different place. They were coming from a different source. They came really easily. They didn't really feel like a lot of work. I still felt like I was putting my mind into it, like trying to come up with good transitions in the songs. There was a little bit of it felt like kind of personal involvement in the songs, but I think that's probably just because Spirit knew that I wasn't really ready to be like a pure, maybe like pure channeling. Like, I needed to have a little bit of ego involvement or something to feel like it was like I wanted it to be like I wanted it to be mine. In a sense, there was still that attachment, but and then when people would ask me like, "Oh, did you write this song?" I would always just kind of tune in, like, sometimes I would say, yeah, I wrote it, or I feel like I didn't really write it myself, but it kind of came through me. Or sometimes I would go into that more, depending on who I was talking to, because obviously if you're talking to someone who's not into spirituality at all, sometimes it's just easier to say, yeah, I wrote it, because that's what they'll be able to accept.
Mm.
But it definitely did feel like a different process than what I had done before.
Mm.
And so, is it like words and music? Like, is there
Yeah,
like,
it was the whole package. Yeah, it all kind of came. I think I heard the melody of the words first. Like for Just Relax, I just remember hearing. I was sitting at my parents' house, actually, out on the back deck, and I had just kind of started this whole new life. I had let go of my hypnotherapy career. I was like, oh my gosh, like my mind was expanding, and then I just remember sitting out on the back porch, and I started hearing it like, just relax, go slow. And I just remember going, oh, that's great. And I grabbed a pad and paper and started writing it down. And then I think, I can't remember if I got all the words before I grabbed the guitar at some point and started figuring out the chords. And that came really quickly too. But yeah, it was just a kind of being given the song.
Yeah.
In a sense.
That's so loving. I love that. It's just like the Spirit just sort of ushering you into this new chapter, and everything's been turned on its head, and you get this sweet song that's so loving, just saying, don't worry about it, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Which is what you needed
exactly.
to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, it was exactly. And I needed to just hear it and then sing it. And I got a lot of opportunities to sing it. Like, just
I bet.
every time I was with people, they'd be like, "Oh, sing your new songs," and so
Mm,
I just had a lot of opportunities to reinforce those
share.
ideas.
yeah?
Wow. Wow.
And this is an opportunity too, if you
Yeah.
choose. I don't know. Is
Yeah,
now a good time, since we've been talking about Just Relax, to give it a whirl?
yeah, if that feels good to
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Nice. We appreciate.
Okay, sweet.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, this is the first song. Just relax. Just relax and go slow. There's no need to hurry, for there are no monsters chasing you. Just be still and let go. There's no need to worry, and there's nothing that you really need to do. Take time to look inside, for I can promise you there's nothing about yourself you need to hide. Take off the mask and let the light shine on your innocent face. You've never done anything wrong. Nothing scary to protect yourself from. Your nightmares are over, you don't need to run. Just open your eyes and see there's nothing to fear. All of your nightmares have long disappeared. Long time ago, you dreamed you'd left home and wandered outside in the cold all alone. You tried to make do with all your substitutes, but they could not erase the pain of forgetting the truth. Well, it's still in your heart and still in your soul. Just take off your heavy armor and let it go. And listen to me while I sing you this song. Your friends are all here and your nightmares are gone. From. Your nightmares are over, you don't need to run. When you open your eyes, you'll see there's nothing to fear. All of your nightmares have long disappeared. Just relax and go slow. There's no need to worry, for there are no monsters chasing you. Right here and right now, you can be at peace. Only love is all around.
That was so beautiful, Eric. I can't tell you. It struck me so deeply. It's amazing song. Just amazing. I'd never heard it. It's like I never heard it before. Literally. It's like talking, you know what it struck me was like talking somebody off of a ledge because it's so articulate. It's like, just relax. You're with your friends. You're loved. It's okay. There's nothing scary. It says so much all through it. It's an amazing song.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So easy to forget that stuff, like even I feel like I forget it all the time still. Like I feel like I have to remind myself of that message every day, many times a day. Just
yeah.
there's no pressure, there's no coercion, you're not being forced to do
Yeah.
anything, just relax.
Yeah.
Do you have any? So I know that you said you haven't been playing that much because you've been doing a lot of, have been put into a lot of other projects, or given a lot of other projects, I should say. Do you? Does that mean like playing for people, or do you still pick up the guitar and play for yourself at times too, or is that
Yeah.
come and go?
I've actually been picking it up more and more. The past, I don't know, I think it started about a month ago. I hadn't picked up the guitar in a while, or at least very infrequently. And then Emily, you guys know Emily, she contacted me and said she wanted to sing a song at this upcoming online retreat we were having, and she wanted me to learn it and do a backing track. So I was like, okay, I haven't played guitar in a while, but I'll give it a shot. And I was kind of rusty at first. I was like, I was kind of, oh man, I don't know if I can do this. And then I just kind of, I talked to some more people and wanted to be sure that it was helpful for me. And everyone was like, yeah, do it. Like, just learn it. And so I did. And it felt so good. It felt like just remembering, almost like I had forgotten how much the music can soothe me. And it like helped me remember, oh yeah, this is my heart right here. And since then, I've just I don't know if I'd say I've made a point of picking it up more, but I just happen to have been picking it up a lot more and playing old songs and kind of refreshing myself on some of the newer songs that I've written, which were, about over a year ago that I wrote, but kind of my latest ones. So,
is there any new songs that have come through?
The two that came to me most recently, about a year ago, were the different quality. Like I had gotten a lot more into Christian music actually in the last 10 years, and because I used to hate Christian music because I hated Christianity. And then after studying A Course in Miracles, I was able to start kind of coming back and listening to Christian music and Christian preachers even, but from A Course in Miracles perspective, and realizing that everybody wants the same thing. We all just want to feel loved, and it doesn't really matter what the theologies are. There was like a heart behind it. And so these last two songs were much more, I would say, personal, like they felt like it was more like me singing to God, which, I used to feel like, no, it's just all oneness, and I didn't even want to talk in a way that sounded dualistic, or personal, but these songs that came through, they felt like it was more of almost like my ego had to sing itself, just to be like, help me, or I love you, like offering praise to God and thanking Him, and they felt more like Christian songs, which I was kind of embarrassed about at first, but
Right.
I just felt like it was where my inspiration was
Yeah.
the most. Yeah, I feel like since I've really gone more into just forgiving Christianity, like forgiving the way that Christianity has been used by the ego for 2,000 years, and now we have A Course in Miracles, which a lot of people say, why did Jesus write A Course in Miracles in Christian terminology? And the answer is because everybody needs to forgive Christianity. And so this is the Spirit's way of using the same terminology, like words like atonement and sin even. He redefines them, though. He redefines everything. And so I kind of feel inspired by the idea of A Course in Miracles being thrown into the Christian category of Christian music, because in a sense, it is Christian. It's like, I would say, it's the true Christianity. And we're I feel like it's an inroads for people who there actually are a lot of people around the world who really love Jesus and they feel a resonance with him, but they're starting to question the Christian religion, and yet they still want to be connected to Jesus. So they may find one of my songs or any Course in Miracles musician and be like, oh, there's something a little different. Like it doesn't have all that like sacrifice and hell and brimstone kind of stuff in it, but it's still using the symbols I'm comfortable with. Yeah, I think in the same way that A Course in Miracles has helped a lot of people start that process of healing, of forgiving the way that the ego used Jesus and used the symbols of, in the same way that the Course has done that. There's now Course in Miracles music that can do the same thing, just from another angle, though, for those who maybe aren't as intellectual, maybe they're not really ready to actually read the Course in Miracles, but because it's such a thick book, but they can maybe open up to some music that uses Christian symbols, but in a way that only promotes love and forgiveness, and without the overtones of sacrifice and those kinds of things. So
blame and guilt.
Blame and guilt and all that.
Yeah. On another note, I was going to ask a question that just came to mind to ask you around collaboration. And I know over the years you've collaborated a lot with different musicians. And just what would you say about that, on that topic of collaboration and the value of that?
Yeah, I mean, it started with Armel. Like when we got married, like I said, she started immediately having songs come to her, and she had no musical training whatsoever. So she would come to me with she'd be like, Erik, I just heard a song. Like maybe, can you see if we can make a song out of it? And it would just come in like maybe a form of like a poem, but she would also hear a melody, and so we would start collaborating on this like poem song that she heard, and I would try to find the chords, and it was really, it kind of, I almost feel like it was Jesus like tricking me into using what I love, which is the music, to guide me, or to kind of pull me into like a collaboration that would ultimately be for the loosening of my ego preferences, because Armel's songs, they weren't usually what I would prefer to write in terms of like my musical stylings and my musical preferences. Like I remember one of her songs, I just thought, this song is so corny and so like girly. It's too girly. Like I was like, this is not cool. This song is not cool. But I was like, she was like, this is my song and we're gonna write it. And then we would get into these like arguments around how to phrase certain things, or can we just change this one word here? And no, this is the word I heard, and this is the word we're gonna, and then she'd be like, this is my song, And so we'd get into these things, and I just had to keep like, okay, I need to, this is all for me to. Even before that, actually, I remember even before Armel, I was collaborating with, or actually it was around the same time, I had another collaboration with Helena Sehunason, and she was making, and with her songs too, it was very girly. I just had all these girly judgments. Like it was almost like we were doing Cyndi Lauper music or something. I was like, I am not into Cyndi Lauper. I'm into like James Taylor, Cat Stevens. I'm cool with those guys, but not Cyndi Lauper style music. But that's how Jesus wanted to use me, so I had to just keep letting go, and it was actually, I could see that it was expansive. It was humorous even at the time. There were moments where I could see the humor in it, and so I think. Come on,
Erik, girls just want to have fun. Like,
right? You guys want me to do the cover of that one now? Girls. Well, that was funny, David. It's funny you said that, David. I was on a call with him earlier, and he mentioned he started singing that, but he sang instead of girls, he started singing A Course in Miracle students. He was like, A Course in Miracle students just want to have fun. It was funny.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
But and then with Ricky, there was so much. I think it's always for the deeper healing. That's what the purpose of life is that forgiveness work that we're all engaged in with our relationships. And so the Spirit just, uses, that was another thing David said on the call. He's like, yeah, it's all these projects, it's not really about the projects. It's not really about the music, therefore. It's always about the collaboration for the purpose of healing and for just joining, like the joy of collaborating and joining and then facing whatever we need to face in ourselves and going through it.
Yeah, that's so profound. Yeah. And all the interviews aren't for the interviews. They're not for what we think they are.
Yeah, they're like David said they're like an excuse to just get together and have fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So do you feel to maybe play that other song that you were mentioning?
Yeah. But yeah, this song, this was the very last song I wrote that, I've had some other ideas for songs sort of trickle in since then, but none of them have become a full song. But this one was the latest kind of song that was completed, and I actually feel like it. I remember when I first wrote it, it felt very raw, and I felt kind of vulnerable singing it too, because it's about my own self-hatred, which I felt like I was starting to get in touch with. Like, we all have this unconscious self-hatred that is really the ego that hates itself, but we don't even know it's there most of the time, because we're always just sort of on the surface of things. But I feel like it surfaces in a lot of different ways, especially when I was in that hermitage experience. I realized how difficult it was for me to just sit still and be alone, which I never used to think I had a problem with. I always felt like I was a good meditator, and I was pretty good at being alone, and I spent a lot of my time alone. But that particular experience in the hermitage, in that trailer, was pretty deep, and I felt a lot of fear, and I felt a lot of kind of like this anxiety and self-hatred under the surface. So this song really came out of, I feel like a determination. Like I suddenly got really strong with myself. Like I need to stop distracting myself away from this. I need to stop, looking for other things to do. I was always looking for like something else to do other than just be. And so I wrote this song kind of came through as like a declaration of like a commitment to being with my feelings.
Mm.
So it's called Till I Find. Take up all my time now to look at you. You're the love within me and the love I'm within. Gonna focus my attention on the things I know that I've heard you speaking from the depths of my soul. And I'm gonna just be silent when I cannot say what I know is truthful, when I need to pray. 'Cause I know you're in me and that I'm in you, and I won't stop searching till I've broken through to your life, to your love, to your endless love that I believe I have lost. I can't go on living without living in you, and so there's nothing that I need to do more than seek you inside, and I won't give up till I find. Open up my heart now and invite the pain that I know is within me, but that I've pushed away. I want to let it be exposed now to the light you shine, 'cause I know you'll let me still and tell me it's not mine. I feel lot of self-hatred that I've tried to hide. I know I won't release it if I hold it inside. So I'm gonna use my time now to bring it all to you. And I won't stop till there's nothing left to break through in my heart, in my life, in my endless love that I believe I have lost. I can't go on living without living in you. And so there's nothing that I need to do more than seek you inside. And I won't give up till I find. I won't give up till I find. Won't give up till I find all that you are and all I am as you created me. I can't deny that I am falling in love, so I'll keep falling and trusting you to catch me. Gonna take up all my time now to rest in you. You're the love within me and the love I'm within.
Oh, God. So beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like that was, like, you could probably hear how it's a different quality, more of like a personal, like talking to God, and yeah, it felt really important to just embrace that sense of, now I do actually believe, I mean, if I'm honest with myself, deep down I believe I'm separate from God. You know, I can intellectually say, oh no, I believe we're all one, but really, like, I believe that I'm separate, and so kind of opening up to that and just accepting that, I think, is the way that it gets healed. You know, opening up to that sense of separation, but then being willing to just, you know, go through it. And that's what that song kind of felt like for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a joy.
Thank you.
So grateful.
So grateful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much for doing this, and I'm so excited. I know the Music Lover's Guide to Enlightenment has been in the mind like for years and years, but it's never really taken off. And so who knows? This feels like it's starting to take off, and Jesus is in control. We'll see what he has planned for